Hey gamers, if you have an eye for abstract strategy and you like stacking little pieces, then you want to check out Gazebo. Let's take a look at how this game plays. In this game, players are trying to be the first one to get rid of all of their gazebos. Players will start with a different number of gazebos depending on player count, and they'll also start with a hand of 3 of these little tiles that have 2 different colors on them, and a stack of 5 tiles that have the same color on them, but players don't know what is in that stack to begin with. On a player's turn, they will place one of their tiles, and the only real rule about that is that they have to place next to terrain that already exists. The board does start with 3 and 3 of the corners, but they don't have to match color at all. If this was what I wanted to play here, I could go ahead and do that, but it's probably not going to be as good as matching what color I'm next to. If a player plays a tile that creates a group of at least 2 of the same color, and there's no gazebos on that yet, then they are able to place one out. Then they can refill their hand either from the supply of tokens that have 2 different colors or from their supply of the ones that have 1 color on them. Alternatively, if they do cover up one of these Zen spots on their turn, they are allowed to draw from the supply of the double colored ones as well. So then maybe the pink player will go next and they'll place over here, which will let them do that. And then maybe I'll go over here because that gets me another group of 2 there in blue now. Extends my greens, and then I'm also now next to a patio, which means that I can place on that one as well. If a player ever creates a group of 5 or more, that is a large nook, and then they will get to place a second gazebo on there. They'll also get 2 gazebos on the larger patios, and it's also possible as players are growing out their nooks, their groups of the colored spaces, that a larger group may eat up a smaller group, and then that will kick a player off potentially, so they'll have to take their gazebos back into their supply. Players will keep going until somebody has gotten rid of all of their gazebos, and that player will instantly win, or if there are no more moves that players can make, whoever has played the most gazebos will win. I kind of struggled with this one. I'm not a big abstract strategy person. That kind of depends on the type of game. This one to me felt like every move that I was going to make, I was just going to be benefiting the person that was next to me, because they'd be able to place a tile that got them closer to a patio, or they'd be able to get a tile that let them cover one of the Zen spots to get one of the double color tiles. I just felt like I really wasn't sure what the best moves to make were, and I felt like I was always behind where other people had way more gazebos out, and I was struggling to really get them out. Of course, that's not going to be the case for every player. If you are more into abstract strategy, this might be perfect for your brain. I just struggled with it a lot because, like I said, every move I made felt like I was benefiting someone else more than I was benefiting myself. Because you're not locked into having to play the same color next to each other. You're not locked into a certain section of the board that like you have to start from or anything like that. It's kind of free reign. And I think that can be really tricky to kind of see where your best moves are, especially depending on what tiles you've got, because that comes down to a little bit of luck there. But I did like how you could draw the different types of tiles, that you had only 5 of the single color tiles available to you at the beginning, and you had to try and earn more of them from the supply. I thought that was kind of interesting. And overall, turns were pretty quick, and the game played very smoothly, so I did appreciate that. It wasn't a long game, it wasn't too much of a slog or anything like that. It played quickly and smoothly, so you were able to kind of reset, try again if you were having a hard time like I was. But like I said, overall, it is an abstract strategy game. You're not really feeling any kind of theme, and the pieces are really fun to stack. But you kind of aren't doing it a ton during the game. But if you like this style of game, then it might be perfect for you. So you can check out my full thoughts on the blog today to decide if this one's up your alley.